Good morning, everyone. Today, we shall be talking about a very popular poem which inspired a lot of people to fight against adversity. We had been facing an invisible enemy, the COVID-19, and since then, lives of people have been dramatically altered. Nevertheless, we should never give up and remember that no matter what life throws at us, don't ever let it get us down, for we have a spirit that is immensely strong and is capable of withstanding pain and stress. Let us start discussing the poem Invictus by first getting to know our author. Our author is William Ernest Henley. He was born in Gloucester, England in 1849. His father was a struggling bookseller who died when he was a teenager. At the age of 12, Henley was diagnosed with tubercular arthritis that necessitated the amputation of one of his legs just below the knee. His other foot was saved only through a radical surgery performed by Joseph Lister. As he healed in the infirmary, Henley began to write poems, including Invictus. Invictus, which is a Latin word for unconquerable, is a poem which focuses on human spirit and its ability to overcome adversity. It is a rallying cry for those who find themselves in dark and trying situations, who have to dig deep and fight for their lives. The poet certainly knew hard times and needed all his strength to battle against disease. The poem Invictus was written in 1875 and published in 1888. It retains its original power and conviction through its simple rhyme scheme, tightening the lines and making them memorable. Henley's personal experience on the operating table and in a hospital bed facing possible death certainly helped him create one of the most popular poems in the English language. Let us now listen to the poem Invictus by William Ernest Henley.
Out of the night that covers me,
by William Ernest Henley. Let us now discuss the meaning of the poem by stanza. The first stanza, the imagery is strong. It is night time, the dark covers everything in black. The night then becomes a symbol of hopelessness, a depressive medium in which the soul is lost and the future cannot be seen. The second line reinforces the first. the black pit, suggesting that this was a deep depression, a spiritual darkness covering the whole world, the world being that of the speaker. And line 3 and 4 acknowledge that help was given somewhere, somehow, perhaps by a deity or deitess, not by any named god or specific creator. The speaker implies that their unconquerable soul is a gift from a godly realm. It's not quite a prayer, but it is a grateful thanks. In stanza 2, there is an interesting start to the second quatrain. Fell clutch is delicious wording for the reader's tongue and basically means cruel grasp. The speaker stating clearly that despite being tightly held in awful situation, they did not once give in or show signs of weakness. The speaker is at first subject to negativity, but then responds in a positive fashion, a repeated theme throughout the poem. In lines 3 and 4, the speaker here is suggesting that despite being battered and wounded, there is still no subservient or self-pitying bow of the head. The head is still held high. In stanza 3, the speaker looks into the future, taking into account all the anger and pain associated with life on earth, and particularly in places such as hospitals. The horror of the shade could be some hellish place of dark where depression lies, a menacing thought. Again, the reader is advised that there will be no capitulation, no giving in. In fact, the speaker has been unafraid throughout the ordeal, which has lasted years and will continue to show a brave face. The message is underlined. The speaker has a clear intention to survive against all odds. The climax in stanza 4 contains an allusion to the Christian Bible, New Testament, Matthew chapter 7, 13, and 14, where Jesus says, "Straight is the gate, and narrow is the way, which leadeth unto life, and few there be that find it." What is the speaker suggesting when the words, "It matters not how we're placed in front of a straight the gate"? This is the gate that leads to the heavenly life. Conversely, the second line is an inference to the depths of the hell, the punishments being the sins written down during a lifetime. The speaker at stanza 4 is affirming that whether a person believes in heaven and hell or not, the plain fact is that the individual is in charge, is in control of their own fate. Henley experienced pain and distress for many years. The poem is rooted in the awful circumstances he found himself into as a boy and a young man. More importantly, the poem's message is universal in its appeal. It says, quite emphatically, that it doesn't matter who you are, believer or not, you can overcome dark times by being brave and never losing faith in your own soul's strength. And that is all about the poem Invictus. Now, let us check your understanding by answering few questions about the poem Invictus. Are you ready? Okay, so let us proceed. The first question is that, which of the following best describes the central theme of the text? Is it A, identity is important to building self-confidence? B, Resilience is the ability to keep going and to refuse to give up. C. Independence means refusing to follow anyone else's rules or laws. Or letter D. Sacrifice is necessary to make someone a hero. Choose your answer. Okay, if your answer is letter B, then you got it right. Resilience is the ability to keep going and to refuse to give up. Very good. Now, let's proceed to the second question. Given the context of the poem, what does the title word Invictus most likely mean? Is it careless, unfortunate, lucky, or undefeated? Okay, if you answered letter D, undefeated, you got it right. For number 3, who is the speaker in the poem of Invictus? Is it letter A happy person who has just received a good news? Letter B, a resilient person who has overcome difficult situations? Letter C, an angry person who has experienced hard time? Or letter D, a mean person who is not interested in the lives of others? Think about it. Okay, if you answered letter B, then you are correct. The speaker is a resilient person who has overcome difficult situations. Now, let's proceed to the next one. When did Henley write the poem? Is it while serving the World War I? Letter B, while suffering from a tuberculosis of the bone rather? Letter C, after the death of his father? Or letter D, after recovering from a heart attack? Okay, so the correct answer for this question is letter B. He wrote the poem Invictus while suffering from tuberculosis of the bone. Okay, and the last question is, who is the master of your fate and the captain of your soul? Is it A, your social economical status? B, yourself? C, your heredity? Or D, the events that occur in your life? Very good, you got it correct. So the master of your fate and the captain of your soul is letter B, yourself. Because again, you hold your fate. You hold whatever happens to your life. Okay, so because of that, I want to congratulate everybody for participating in this lesson. Again, thank you for watching.